recorded live right here in Little Rock, Arkansas. It's time again for Larry's Rants, Raves, and Reviews. And now here's Larry.
Well, Randy, we're having fun. We're here on part 2 of this thing.
That's it.
And I think Randy Sams was getting ready to kind of spill some dirt here. And you know how I like dirt. You know, I'm kind of like an old lady with a gossip, you know. So, you know, I told him last episode, if he wanted to disagree, feel free. I always give people the right to be wrong. And so,
yeah, you do.
Thank you for that opportunity. I appreciate it. Yeah.
I'm glad you do that, Larry.
Well, God bless America.
But I'm always right.
Yes, you are, because you are Randy Right. So we've got Randy Sims. He's here in the studio. We decided to do a second part, a second show with him. Now, we were just getting into some dirt here about a jail, a prison, and I can tell you got some stuff that's just kind of bubbling up inside of you. So we'll pick up, folks. If you don't know where we're starting, go back and listen to the first part and then catch up with us. And so let's just rock and roll.
All right.
Where were you going?
Well, the 3,000-bed mega prison that they're wanting to build in Franklin County.
Right.
Okay. If you go back and do a little homework, do a little digging, and that's what people need to understand. I've been in prison ministry for 25 years.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Dear God, I thought he was going to say I've been in prison. I'm like, okay, let's cut this one short.
Yeah.
I'm glad I heard ministry.
So there goes my run for Senate, right?
Yeah. No, you'll fit right in.
I've been in prison ministry for 25 years. So if someone were to ask me, do we need more bed space? I would say, yes, we need more bed space. But you have to have the infrastructure to supply that with the needed number of staff members.
Right.
To staff a 3,000-bed prison is going to take over 800 employees.
Wow. Okay.
Look at Franklin County, look at the population. So I do a lot of ministry at the Malvern prison, the Ouachita River Correctional Unit in Malvern.
Okay.
So look at, and that's about a 2,500 prison unit down there. And if you look at the surrounding areas, so you've got Benton, you've got Bryant, you've got Hot Springs, you've got Malvern, you've got Arkadelphia.
Right.
So you have the population to be able to staff to put the correctional officers on duty there. But they still have a high turnover. It's not a job that I would want or any one of us in this room would want.
No.
Okay? So there's some things I think you could do to address that. But it gets back down to the fact that during the general session of 2025, they tried to pass the funding, the $850 million, the funding 5 times. Guess how many times it failed?
5.
5 times.
5 times.
How many times do you have to hit your thumb with a hammer to realize that I probably don't want to do that anymore?
Well, in politics, probably a lot more than that.
But they're not giving up.
Yeah.
So let me tell you this story. So the senator, Gary Stubblefield, out of District 26, which included that area for Franklin County.
Okay.
He was a staunch no, firm no.
Okay.
So you have to understand the makeup of the Senate. 35 senators. You've got some that are whatever the governor wants, the governor gets.
Okay.
You've got some that are willing to make a stand for the people.
All right.
Stubblefield was on the side to make a stand for his constituents. They didn't want the prison. He said no. Unfortunately, Gary Stubblefield passed away on September 2nd.
Oh.
So we're about to go a little bit deeper.
Okay.
So when a senator or a House rep passes away or resigns, you have to have a special election.
Okay.
Which has to be set by who? The governor.
Okay.
And it's supposed to be within 150 days of when you sign the special election certificate.
Uh-oh.
Now, you do the math. September 2nd, 150 days would be when? Maybe at the end of the year, 1st of 2026. She said she would allow the special session to take place in November of 2026. Is that 150 days? No.
Okay. No.
That's about 400 and some odd days down the road. Now, why would she do that? See, we have a fiscal session coming up in 2026. Fiscal meaning they divvy up the funds, right?
Right.
The money goes out.
Right.
So if you have a district that they know is going to be a staunch no, a hard no against the prison being built there, let's kick that can down the road past the fiscal session. She heard the people's voice. She said, okay, we're not going to have it in November. We'll move it to June of 2026. Well, the fiscal session starts in March or April and runs through May. Okay. So if you have it in June, they're still not going to have any representation. Is there this thing called taxation without representation? So if you're going to build a $1 billion prison in somebody's backyard, don't you think for their voice to be heard, they need to have someone in the Senate that actually going to give a yay or a nay?
Yeah, right.
What the people agree?
Right.
Well, without that, they were going to go through that session without any representation.
And you're saying that the people of Franklin County does not want
in that District
prison.
26, they do not want the prison. Yes, sir. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So anyway, we had a young man that stood up and he sued the governor.
Oh.
And it was heard. And that's where I met a lot of the people from Franklin County as I actually attended.
Okay.
And they were asking me if they thought I was there because, hey, I'm running for Senate. I'm going to be handing out flyers or whatever. I said, no. What you have to realize is that what occurs today for District 26 can affect what can happen in the future for any other district, that if the governor wants to kick the can down far enough to where there's a vote coming up and she doesn't want you or he doesn't want you to be in there, then let's just move that special election down the road far enough out to where they won't get to vote for it.
Okay.
So the judge ruled in their favor against the governor. And then we had House District 70, which is in North Little Rock. The rep that was over that district got promoted to or got offered the job to be the president of PPS. So he stepped down.
Okay.
So now you have an open House district.
Okay.
Okay. They did try to do the same thing for that. But here's the big difference. Now listen to this. So you would think with the Republican Party being for the people, remember the people rule?
Oh, yeah.
Seeing that the governor has decided to not to set the special election until after the fiscal session, you would think that the Republican Party, the chairman of the Republican Party, would step in and say, sorry, Governor, this is not right. It's got to be within 150 days.
Yeah.
He did not. The Democrats, on the other hand, because that was a Democrat that had House District 70, the Democrat chair for the state of Arkansas was the one that stepped up and sued the governor. So she had 2 lawsuits against her because she didn't set the special election within 150 days. Now, if you look at the terminology, it has some stuff to do, but basically is this: the law says 150 days. There's no reason not to have it within 150 days. There wasn't a reason other than the fact that when you look at it and say, well, there's 2 no votes, one in the Senate, one in the House. If we can kick the can down the road a little bit farther,
Okay.
there's 2 no votes against the prison being funded. Does that make sense?
Right.
Okay. So that's where we're at right now.
If Franklin County people in general does not want the thing, why is it actually getting put there?
Good question. There's no answers. There's no responses.
Do they have the if 850 people are supposed to be employed and actually work it, are there enough people there to have that employment?
Not even in the surrounding counties. So you have to look at the infrastructure, okay? The road system is not there.
Okay.
They're 35 to 45 minutes away from a hospital.
Okay.
Okay. You don't have the water.
Okay.
But if you're going to bring in, let's say, 850 families, 850 workers,
Right.
the majority of them are going to probably move in that area.
Sure.
Do they have the housing for it?
No.
Okay. What's it going to do for housing prices for the people that are already in Franklin County?
Right.
It goes up. So there's a lot of reasons why, but
Is Franklin County, and I'm sorry, I mean, I've lived in Arkansas for years, but is Franklin County, isn't it more of a just rural
yeah.
county?
Yep.
That's between Russellville and Fort Smith, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yeah. Franklin
right there.
County, Johnson
Okay.
County.
Yeah. Yeah. So you go past Russellville and then that stretch there before you get to Fort Smith.
Okay.
And you're going down
Good
40.
Lord, there's nothing there.
No, there's nothing.
Well, if you
I'm not being ugly. I'm just saying that I've been down
there's
that
people
road so
there
many times.
and they love their lifestyle that they have currently.
Absolutely, yeah.
And the last thing they want is a 3,000 bed mega prison to be built there in their backyard, especially when it wasn't even on the final list to be even considered. Okay.
You have to wonder who owns the real estate that's getting purchased for
but
that.
that's already known. That's why I said it was owned by a young man when he purchased it at the age of 24. It was over $1 million for him to purchase that property. And he's had it for like 3.5 years and never did any improvements for it and sold it for almost $3 million. Not a bad profit.
Son of a gun.
Okay.
Wow.
So
I wish I'd have known
it
about
gets
that.
deep. Yeah, I do too. Yeah. But that's
I wonder
the
who's
basis
getting that
of
cut.
it. But you got to go and look at
Well, that fell on deaf ears.
transparency is where it comes back to. Okay, but that's why you have to ask the questions. They've had hearings, I'd say hearings, public hearings, where senators have been involved, citizens of Franklin County and the surrounding areas have been involved. But the people that actually have been assigned for it, for whatever reason, they just don't show up. So how are you going to ask and get questions answered? So the lack of transparency, and then when you look at, we had some laws that were enacted earlier this year that basically says that if we owned a business and we were strictly DEI, that we could not have a state contract. Okay?
Oh, okay.
Anti-DEI. But yet the company, I think it's Veneer, they're out of California.
Yeah.
You see which direction I'm going with this already?
Oh,
Yeah.
man.
Heavily DEI.
Sure.
They signed a $14 million contract. I believe it was $14 million with them. Okay? But they're strictly DEI. And if you look at some of the other prison projects that they've been involved with, if they tell you $1 billion, get ready, it's going to be $2 billion.
Oh, sure.
So if we just look at the fiscal side of it, but here's what you have to look at. If they build the prison, no matter if it's in Franklin County or wherever they build it, how much do you think it's going to take to maintain that prison every year?
Oh.
How many millions of dollars is it going to take to maintain that prison?
Oh, yeah.
50 million a year just to maintain that one prison? So how's that going to get paid for? We're, as Republicans, we're supposed to have less government. We should be looking for ways to reduce people's taxes.
Mm-hmm.
When the governor took over, we had a surplus of $1.3 billion. It's a little over 800 million right now. Now, I understand we've had some tax cuts. We've had the LRRNs Act. So there's been some good things that have happened. But if you're going to build $1 billion prison or $1.5 billion prison, or it turns into $2 billion, because this thing in Randy's, you're in building, right? He's in construction.
Right.
How long do you think it's going to take to build a 3,000 bed prison?
2 years? 3 years?
They're projecting
5?
about 5 years. Yeah. Okay. So 2030, 2031, what's actually going to cost over that 5-year period?
Oh, wow.
To build that prison,
Right.
and then to maintain it.
Right.
So it just doesn't make a whole lot of sense. There are spaces within the state of Arkansas at the existing prisons that we could add on and put additional bed space in those locations. There's space in Malvern. There's other places. But when you talk to folks that have been involved in it, you got to ask, what's crazy is that there were counties that had their hand up and wanted the prison. They wanted it. Build it here. Okay?
Yeah.
But they just overlooked that and went to a different direction.
Wow.
Okay?
So who is the they to point it down to?
Well, I mean, it starts at the top, which would be the governor.
Right.
And then the people that she has around her. And
Right.
then you have the senators that are on her side that are pushing it. Okay?
Yeah.
So that's what I mean by they. So the
Yes.
Department of Corrections, there was a ruling that actually the Department of Corrections now is going to be kind of separate from where she was at, because I think she wanted to be able to take care of all that. And please don't think I'm slamming the governor. She's done some good things, but there's some questionable things that I have to look at and say just optics mean a lot to me. If it walks like a duck, quacks like a duck, it's probably a duck.
Right.
And
I
the
understand.
lack of transparency just on the prison, the selection of the site, not meeting with the people, kicking the special election, which should have been within 150 days, kicking it past this fiscal session in 2026. When you add all that up, it doesn't paint a good picture or a pretty picture for those of us who are Republican.
Right.
Right.
Conservative.
Right.
Let me say the word conservative, okay?
Yeah, I don't tell people that I'm a Republican because I'm really not. I'm a Reaganite, okay? And I love President Trump. Don't get me wrong. I'm a big fan of his, and I think he's doing a great job. The problem of it is is that he's been in office for 9 months. Everything that has been done by executive order. And I got a podcast coming up on why I think all of this is happening. But you got a Senate, you got a House. Those leaders, I mean, they're about as effective as the old saying is, a screen door on a submarine. They're spinning their wheels, and all they're doing is, well, I'm basically giving away my other podcast, so I'll just leave it there. I'm not a Republican. I am a Reaganite conservative. Okay. So apparently, and kind of put us back on track on where you're going, because that's what I really want to focus.
Okay.
I really want to focus on giving the people an insight to you. Okay. You seem like a very nice guy, a very educated and smart gentleman. And so I want to give you the full opportunity here. So is the Senate seat that you're running for, is it vacant at the time?
It will be.
Okay.
Because, like I said, the senator that has it now is term limiting out.
Oh, okay.
And he has already put his name in the hat to run for Secretary of State. So his term will end in December 31st.
There's your term limits, Larry.
Yeah,
There's your term limits.
Yeah.
Term limited here in Arkansas.
Okay. So our senators have a term limit here
Yes.
in Arkansas. Okay.
Just senators.
No, it's in the House also. It
Okay.
can
In
only
the
be,
House.
I think
Senate,
it's 8
Senate
terms.
and
Yeah.
House, 8 terms. 8 terms. And
How
there's
many
2
how many-
years. How many
2?
years per term? 2?
In the House, it's 2, and in the Senate, it's 4.
4.
Yeah.
Okay. And those are the only ones that are term limited then.
Well, you got the governor,
Governor is too. Okay.
and then I think all the constitutional officers are. I don't think you can be Secretary of
Yeah.
State until you.
8
Yeah.
terms.
But you
Okay.
you can run for something else.
And that's usually what happens.
Yeah, in other
So
words,
look at
you-
the senator that has the district now, or has a seat now.
Yeah.
He was in the House.
Uh-huh.
Then he became the senator.
Yeah.
And now he's going to run for Secretary of State.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. What,
And-
what is it that you need for people to help you get in this thing? What is it? What I know you need you need support, and that's support in which ways? Money?
Yes, sir.
Vote?
Yes.
What else? Prayer?
Keep going. Yep.
I
I
just
tell
getting
people
the word out. And how can they do that?
Well, I'll give
Tell
you
us.
My website is SAMS, SAMS 4, the number 4, Arkansas.com.
Okay.
You can there's a you can go to the website and there's a little button that says donate. You can donate on that website, or if you want to send a check, save any service fees.
Yeah.
You can send the check to Randy Sams, State Senate,
Right.
1201 Military Road,
Okay.
Suite
right.
2,
Suite 2,
number 184.
184. Okay.
That's in Benton, Arkansas 72019.
And you can person can give what, up to $3,000?
$3,500.
35
Yeah.
is the max.
So if you've got a husband and wife,
how
they
much you
can
got to
each-
raise?
Oh, well, when I first started, I had one consultant tell me I needed to have $180,000.
Okay.
I'm thinking probably anywhere from 75 to 100,000 is going to be will be enough. When I say enough,
Yeah.
it shouldn't be anywhere close to that.
That takes care of your advertising and all that and stuff like that.
I'm going to have to do text messages. I'm going to have to do billboards. I'm going to have to do mailers.
Right.
I've got campaign signs.
What's the deadline? When do you have to have all that by?
Well, I mean, the early election is February the 13th, so the sooner the better.
And I'm sure you're on all of the social media platforms working on that.
Facebook, Randy Sams for State Senate. Yep.
Okay.
Same thing.
All right.
Or you can go to my personal page, just Randy Sams is Facebook, and then yes, we have the not TikTok, but we have X and
Yeah.
all of those.
Okay.
It's there. Yeah.
Let me ask you a question. What do you hope to accomplish if you're elected? Is that a fair?
Yes, sir. No, I mean that's
good.
here's what really my passion is, to give the seat back to the people. And that sounds cliche, okay? Everybody's going to say that. No, what I believe is this: that seat belongs to the people. It doesn't belong to an individual.
Yes.
Okay. And what I mean by an individual, whether it be me or whether it be the governor or whether it be another senator, okay? And it doesn't belong to special interest.
Okay.
Right now, you have too many people that are bowing down to special interest, where, hey, they've given into your campaign, and now they want you to do a certain thing. But yet when you talk to the people don't want you to vote that way. But so now you're torn. And then you get to a place where people are now getting to a point where they're being threatened. When I say threatened, so Randy, if you don't vote this way, I'm going to run a primary opponent against you. Okay. And so you want to continue to have your election or your seat. So now you're going to go, okay, so now you're wavering. So that's what we have to get away from. I'm not going to be a career politician. I'm in the insurance business. I do retirement planning. I'm not going to be afraid of somebody coming up and threatening me that, hey, if you don't vote this way that we want you to vote, then we're going to find somebody to primary you in the next 3 years or whatever, whenever the next term is up. That's fine. Like I said, I fear God, not man.
Right.
Okay.
Okay. All right. What do you think the top 3 issues are that is facing Arkansans?
Well, let me back up. I want to give you an example of what I've been talking about here. Being a Republican, we're supposed to have less government.
Yes.
In 2023, there were 1,600 bills that were filed. 890 of them became law.
Wow.
In 2025, there were 1,900 bills that were filed, and almost 1,100 of those became law. Are we shrinking government or are we increasing government? That's got to be something that should be at the forefront of what we as individuals of citizens of the state of Arkansas is, especially if we're conservative,
right?
That we're supposed to be looking for ways to lessen government.
Yeah.
Okay, the overreach, oversight. My planks, transparency is going to be one of the top ones, accountability. The FOIA, we have to be able, as citizens of the state of Arkansas, we have to be able to hold our elected officials, what? You got to hold them to what they say they're going to do, right? You got to be responsible. Hold them accountable. Yeah.
Sure.
Okay. Education. I'm a big believer in education, and I do support the LEARNS Act. I believe that the parents should have the right to choose where their tax money, and they should be able to have the right to choose where their children are educated.
Yes.
And it shouldn't be bound by lines on a map. And it shouldn't be discouraged because of tuition.
Yeah.
And I'm also a big believer in not everybody in the state of Arkansas that graduates from high school should ever go to college. You're in construction.
I did.
Yeah.
Okay.
I never did.
What about
I never
Votex?
went to college.
What about technical colleges?
I went to Votech.
What's wrong with that? Welders, mechanics. I mean, a mechanic is
paint
not
and body. I did paint. I'm building houses, and I did paint and body.
How many people do you know in the HVAC business that are very successful? Plumbers, electricians.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
You can a child coming out of high school that focuses on, especially whether it be HVAC, electrical, if they want to be an electrician or plumber, or they want to do in computer sciences, they get to graduate without a huge college debt, right? Education debt.
Right.
And they can go straight into their occupation.
Plumbers are making so much money. They make easy money. It's plastic. There's no copper. It's all plastic. You're playing with plastic stuff. Is what you're doing.
Well, the chairman of Ford Motor Company, this about a month ago, he got up and said that there were 5,000 mechanic jobs. I don't know if this was inside of the corporation, Ford Corporation, that pay over $120,000. Now, you got to understand that a mechanic today is not a mechanic like when we grew up, where they just got to change the spark plugs and adjust the timing, right?
Yeah.
Right.
It's a computer-based deal.
It's all computer.
Okay,
change it up.
but they still got to change brakes and do all the other stuff.
Yep.
Welders. I don't get kids that are coming out of school. What are they spending a year, maybe a year and a half in welding school? And they've got jobs right now that are paying $30, $40, $50 an hour. So why not focus on some of that? Not every child should be expected to have to go to college.
Right.
But we need to make that available to them and give them that avenue and say, hey, if you need financial help, let's provide that financial help for them.
And I will tell you that the older I get, the more I believe in homeschooling.
Yes, sir.
Okay. I'm putting that out there. And I talked to a lady, and I will not disclose who she is because a lot of people would know her because she's real famous here in Arkansas. I wanted her to be on the show. I wanted her to come, and she can't be at this moment for a reason. But one of the things that she said is, I homeschooled, and then my child went to college.
Mm-hmm.
And at college, my child was brainwashed.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
And now
they're starting them earlier.
Now is she?
Brainwashing in grade school.
Absolutely. So when Charlie Kirk referred to, not everybody wants or needs, or he actually came out and said, that a college education, there was a lot of scam to it.
Yes, sir.
And he was correct.
Yeah. Well, if you're going to specialize, you're going to be a lawyer, you're going to be a doctor, maybe an engineer or something like that. But coming out with an arts degree or something of this nature. But yeah, so that's the way I look at it. Education has got to be very big. Like I said, I'm a big supporter of Learns, whether it be going to private school, whether it be going to a charter school or homeschooling.
Yeah.
I believe that option should be left up to the parents.
I do too.
Okay.
I do too.
So I always support that.
I always I love John Maxwell. I don't know if you've ever studied any of John Maxwell's materials or anything, but Randy and I certainly have.
Oh, yeah.
John Maxwell always used to say, take good care of your A students because they'll be your deans and professors. Take good care of your B students because they'll be your teachers and take good care of you. Take extremely good care of your C students because they're the ones that'll come back and give you millions of dollars to help build your project.
Exactly, yeah.
I got to tell you, I've ran several successful businesses. I never went to college. Randy, I don't even know if you know this. Randy, he knows this part. I was a gospel singer for years. Okay. And I traveled singing gospel music, and a guy come up to me at a concert when I was just out of high school. And he came to me and he goes, hey, he said, what are you going to do for your education? I said, I just got through high school. I said, that's enough for me. And he said, I'll tell you what, I will pay for you a full ride if you want to go to Oral Roberts University. I will pay for 4 years. I will cut the check and absolutely give you your education. And I said, no, thank you. Now, whether that was right, wrong, smart, dumb, I don't know. But the bottom line is that not everybody needs a diploma, a college diploma, and a degree on the wall. Exactly. And how many people do we see go to college and get a degree and then never use it?
A lot.
Seriously?
A lot.
Yeah, they really do.
Hey, me and Donna help the young adults with at the church, and we sponsor them. And they come over to the house, and we cook for them, and then they're still. I say, what do you do? What do you want to do when you grow up? They're grown up, and they still don't know what they want to do.
No, they don't.
They've got a degree. They don't know what they want to do yet.
And mommy and daddy's still paying for those loans.
And they can't use what they went to school. So back to education.
Yeah.
I said earlier that I've been in the prison ministry.
Right.
75% of the inmates that are in prisons today in the state of Arkansas did not graduate high school, didn't have their GED. Okay? It's been proven that those who do not have their high school education are 3 times more likely to be incarcerated, whether it be in jail or prison, than those that do have their high school education. So we talk about prisons. Maybe we should focus on education a little bit more. Maybe early education. Maybe we need to teach the kids, when Arkansas learns, Arkansas earns. Right now, Arkansas is 46 in per capita income, 46 out of 50.
Wow.
So if we can raise the education level, if we can put more kids into welding or HVAC or plumbing or whatever that occupation may be, construction, we raise that per capita, and I think we can see the population in the prisons maybe go down because they're not having to steal or whatever they have to do.
Right.
Okay. And they're going to feel much better about themselves.
Yeah.
So early education is something we need to focus on, and I think that will have an effect on what we see as far as it'll bring our per income or per capita income will raise up.
Right.
And the prison will hopefully have some free beds if we need them.
Well, Randy, I like what you're saying, and we're going to have to bring this plane in for a landing, as I say often. But I like what you're saying. I really do. Randy Wright, I think that you and I probably feel just a little left out because we don't get to go vote for this man. We don't live where he is at.
No.
It seems like we're really on the borderline.
But, I mean, is my money still good?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yeah.
We'll give you a check.
He was quick to admit that.
I bet.
Sure.
My money's still good in Benton, isn't it?
And I tell you, Randy, but that was the first thing that God had to humble me with, is being able to go ask people for money.
Yeah.
I would rather stand out on a corner with a sign and a bucket and say, "Can you give $5 to my campaign?"
Dear God, we don't need another one of those, Randy. Not in Pulaski County, not in Little Rock, Arkansas.
But it does take
you go out and
those
stand
funds.
in front of Bobby's and you get in trouble.
Yeah, that's right, you will.
It takes those funds to be able to run a competitive campaign and to be able to let people understand who I am and what I stand for.
Yeah.
And that's what we need.
Well,
so
those in Benton need to email and call us and tell us and all that good stuff and get a hold of us and tell us that, they're supporting Randy and figure out how to do it. Because, we don't live there. Y'all do. You're listening.
Get out and do some work for him, and we encourage you. Randy obviously has known you for years. This is only the second time I've seen you.
Yes,
I met you at a party a couple of months ago or a month ago, and Randy said, "Hey, let's have him on the podcast." I said, well, "Okay," So I've really enjoyed having you on here. I really can seriously say that, and so I'm going to extend an invitation for you to come back. We can choose other topics, or we may just ask, "How's the campaign going?" Right. And let's help him out.
Let's get him in here before the election for sure.
Yes. Yeah, right. Yeah. We'll continue these conversations, but it's something that I think that the people need to pay attention. And I'll say this and then then I'll wrap up. I had a lady come to me, probably it's been a month ago, in the restaurant. And it's a lady I respect and really I think a lot of her. But I said something and she said something and back and forth and we both respect one another. And she goes, "Well, I just don't want to get into politics. I think America should just forget all about politics and just get back to the old-fashioned loving one another." And I looked at her with all respect, because I do respect this lady. And I said, I can agree with what you're saying in theory. I said, but entertain this for me. Don't you think that the reason we're in the sad shape that we're in is because us Americans haven't paid attention to politics?
Right.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you've got 90,000 people in this District 16 that Randy is sitting here saying he wants to be a senator for, and he thinks he can win the election with how many votes did you say?
Let's say 3,500 to 4,000 votes.
3,500 to 4,000 out of 90,000 population. Your vote does make a difference. Mm-hmm. Younger people will step back and say, Larry, I don't vote in elections because my vote doesn't matter. Let me tell y'all something. Your vote does matter. And you need to get out and to work. And you need to get out and help a gentleman like this, a successful businessman, a wonderful Christian man, a man of morals and a man of character. I would tell you, you need to get with him and say, how can we help? And a lot of you moved to Benton because Pulaski County and Little Rock is not the greatest place.
Exactly. Yes.
And you moved to Benton, but I'm going to tell you something. A lot of other people are going to move there, and you can become the next Pulaski County or the next Little Rock.
Amen.
So I'm just going to tell you, I'm going to put it out there. You guys can disagree all you want. You can send me hate mail. You can send me whatever you want. I really don't care. But here's the bottom line. You need to get out and get a guy like this, get behind him. If he's willing to take time away from his business, his family, his church, his whatever, and help you out and be your senator, this is the kind of guy that you need to throw your money, your endorsement, your work behind and put him in office. And he would help you in your district, and he will help the state of Arkansas. So I'm just going to leave it right there. I hope that you'll contact him and help him any way you possibly can. I hope you'll like our pages. I hope that you will send us comments, emails. Let us know what you're thinking. Let your family and friends know about this podcast. And I hope that you will have a wonderful day.